It's Brian Preston, the Money Guy.
All right. This next question is from Jordan. Jordan said, is there a time to not max step 5 and 6 and move after tax? When Jordan says step 5, 6, they're talking about the financial order of operations. It's a 9-step process to help you to figure out exactly what to do with your dollars. If you want to go check it out, you can go to moneyguide.com/resource. We have a free deliverable there. But this is what Jordan said. Is there a time to not max 5 and 6 and move to after tax? Now listen to this. I'm 34, have $900,000 in 401k Roth traditional and $215,000 in after tax, planning to move to retire around 48. So Jordan has done some remarkable stuff very early on. Jordan says, I'm investing around 33% now, and what I'm thinking about is RMDs at age 72.
Yeah.
So the question is there a time when it makes sense for me to deviate from just absolutely following FOO to a T?
Jordan, mutant Jordan. Congratulations. That's
unbelievable.
incredible. And look, we've talked about this, but I think it's worth clarifying that the reason, and I'm holding up the free deliverable, remember, if you want to go deeper and really go into the financial order of operations, we do offer a course at learn.moneyguy.com that I want people who are trying to accelerate their wealth creation to consider. But for Jordan specifically, I tell people you go through really the first 6 steps of the financial order of operations because they're working together not only to maximize the free employer matches that are coming through from your employer, but also the huge wins that the government gives you with tax, some type of tax incentive. Whether if it's a Roth, it's tax-free growth. If it's tax deferred, like your traditional 401ks and 403bs, it's because they're allowing that money to build compounding growth without the hindrance, without the headwind of the government taxing that money. That is a huge benefit that you need to pay a lot of respect to. But there are financial mutants like yourself that we build into the plan. And if you did the deep dive of the actual course, you see this, is that the graduation point is really once you get to 25% of your gross income. You've already let it be clear, you're saving 33%. So I would tell you, max out all the way through step 6 with that 25%. And then, and maybe if your income, because based upon the level of savings you have, you might find that even with 25% of your gross income, you go into step 7 because the government only lets you put $19,500 into the 401k, and maybe you go beyond that. So it's perfectly fine once you either max out all your governmentally tax advantage retirement accounts like your IRAs, your 401ks, your 403bs. Maybe you max all those out, but you still haven't reached 25%. You can go to step 7 then, or you can, if you just hit the 25% of your gross income number, go to step 7, start building that bridge account of after-tax savings, thinking about the 3-bucket strategy that we always are covering in our content. That is the graduation point for you, Jordan.
Now, I'm gonna suggest, Jordan, you're probably a higher income earner. I mean, if you're 34, you have that much. It's not an after-tax account, so it couldn't have been an inheritance, right? It's in 401k, Roth, and traditional. I'm gonna argue you're probably in a higher tax bracket, right?
Yeah.
To be able to amass that kind of wealth at such a young age, you probably make a really good income. Tax incented savings are so valuable for you. It's exactly what Brian just said. If you can save taxes now, and if you can do Roth and save taxes in the future, it's hard not to take advantage of that. But I love where your thought process is because you know that you want to retire at 48. I would argue that falls into fire. Well, one of the problems you're going to have is if all of your money's in Roth and all of your money is in your 401k and pre-tax, it's going to be hard to get to those dollars. Now, yes, you can get to the basis inside your Roth, but what you're kind of doing is you're taking some players off the field early if you do that. Realistically, you want those Roth dollars to grow as long as possible so that you're pulling those out not in your 40s and 50s, you're pulling those out in your 60s, 70s, and 80s. So I do think thinking about how I can fund that after-tax account is a prudent thought process. And if there's anyone else out there who's thinking, yeah, I want to be part of this fire, I want to retire early, I want to think about that, That third bucket, that is what it's there for. We call it the bridge bucket so that you can bridge from whenever you retire to the age you can actually access all of your assets. But I'd also tell you this, Jordan, you are at that critical place where the decisions you make now are becoming a little nuanced.
Yeah.
It's not so much a general solution. It might not be a horrible time for you to consider reaching out to someone to think about having a co-pilot come alongside you to figure out what the next decade looks like to prepare you for the next 40 to 50 years.
Oh, come on. No. We're better business people than that. Don't just consider someone. I want you to pay it forward on the abundance cycle. Jordan, we'll be hearing from you soon so we can get you connected with somebody here at Abound Wealth. Look at you trying to be all coy.
Well,
No.
I was trying
The abundance cycle, we give away a ton of free. We load you up for years, but there is an ask at the end. It's crazy not to tell them to come to Abound Wealth.
I'm with you. And you know what? To sweeten the deal, we'll send you a tumbler.